Good morning. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Melissa if you're new here. And today's video is going to be a Monstera day. I have 3 Monsteras that I would like to get done today, but I may only do 2 today and do a 3rd one on a different day if it's going to take too long. I know I've been doing some longer videos, and so I didn't want this to be like another hour-long video, so I might split it up. So I'm going to do this one here. I brought out my flame. Isn't this plant so pretty? And I really need to do my Monstera Thai Constellation. I'm not sure how I want to go about the Thai yet. It's in my bathtub, so I need to get it out of there. I was thinking I might prop it, but I don't know yet. So I'll have to troubleshoot that with you and figure that out. I'm going to start with the flame because it's going to be the easiest. And the last time you have seen Monstera Flame was the last time I put the plant in here. I had propagated it, so if you haven't seen that video, I will link it. I had probably like another long section, and I had 6 propagations, and then I had a bottom like node that I kept. I ended up just getting rid of that and just keeping that as a wetstick. And then I have 2 propagations left that I haven't sold. I sold 4 of the propagations. And the only reason I haven't sold the other 2 yet is because I'm waiting for the new growth to kind of come in. So once that happens, I'll probably list those. But this is like the top section that I put into pon, and she's root bound, so I need to upsize her. And then this is the newest leaf here. It did another 3 claw. That was the leaf before, and then that's the newest one. I feel like it's a pretty big leaf size compared to my hand. I feel like giving her roots down here more room to grow will definitely help with the increase in leaf size. I have this plant sitting at the window in front of me, so it gets like full shot of my south window. So I feel like the light is good, and it does have support, and you can see the roots have kind of clung on to this core pole, so it is supported. So I feel like I want to go ahead and upsize her, and I feel like she will appreciate that. She's drying out pretty quickly, and you can see there's some roots there on the bottom. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and quickly do that. I have a table right here, so I'm gonna go ahead and bend you around, and we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, here is the table. So the pot size I'm gonna use it's not quite a 7-inch, but that's the inner pot. And this is like not quite a 5-inch, it's probably like 4.7, I think. This one here, so we're only gonna go up like 2 inches. All right, I'm actually very curious to see how root bound this plant is. I feel like it hasn't been that long since I planted her into here. I feel like it's only been a few months. And I have a little container here so I don't make a mess. Okay, I mean, not terribly root bound, honestly. I feel like she was drying pretty quickly though. Let me bring it a little bit closer. But that's still like, that's an impressive amount of roots in a short amount of time, I feel like. I have seen my palm plants get extremely rooted, so this isn't bad. So I'm just gonna plop and fill basically. Try not to make a mess. And I'm literally just plopping. Actually, let me do a thin layer of pon on the bottom. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay. And then I can actually press this core pole down a little bit more too. Okay. So that's our fit. I'm gonna try and use the rest of this. Okay, and then I'm just gonna backfill. Super easy. I'm excited to get more splits though. I hope I didn't upsize her too soon. I thought she was more rooted, honestly. I feel like it'll be able to stay in this size probably until the rest of the year. I'm gonna let her get pretty rooted in here. Okay, I'm just gonna add a little bit more of my nutrients back through here. All right, that was it for the flame. Super easy. And yeah, I'm excited for her to grow more. I'm thinking for the Monstera Thai, so this is my second Thai. My other one is outside that I repotted earlier this spring. And so this one here, I've kind of neglected. The last time I repotted it was, I think this is like going on the second year since it's been in that pot. And it hasn't put out a new leaf in a little bit. And I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if there's some like root health issues. And I've had it shoved in the corner of my plant room for the longest time. It hasn't been getting good light ever since I moved it away from the window. So I don't know if I want to prop it. So my Thai wants to crawl. And so I need to like figure out how to get it to sit back upright. And it's in my old mix that I don't use. So I'm thinking, let me take a look at the root. Let's undo it. I'll probably just get down to the floor, undo it, and then if there's like root health issues, then I might be tempted to prop it. I was thinking about trying to grow it in pot as well because all my other monsteras love semi-hydro. You can see my mint down there, it has a new leaf. And then that huge elbow there is in semi-hydro. I think one or two of you guys might have mentioned or asked me why don't I try the Thai in semi-hydro because your Thai loves it. So I am considering it, but I don't know about propping it directly into pond though. So I don't know, we'll have to see, but I'm gonna get set up, clean this little pond mess here up and then bring you down to the floor. I'll get the Thai out of the bathtub and we'll see. We'll take a look and see what's going on and how to fix it. Okay, let me show you the Thai Con. It's like crawling way off the pot here. I don't know if you can see. And I don't know, like the leaves are doing this weird, it just doesn't know which way to go. Yeah, I kind of neglected it, like I said, and it's been in this pot for probably 2 years. And I'm really tempted to prop it, you guys. Stem is so thick too. Look at that. This was node propagated back in, I got this back in 2021, I believe, as a node. And so I grew it from a chunk, which is kind of crazy. It's lost a lot of leaves here, so the stem is bare. Let me just dump it out. Let me dump it out and see what we're working with the root system. If the root system is fine, I think I'll just leave it in soil and then maybe just stake the vines up so I can like retrain it. I'll just put it in front of a grow light so that I can retrain it maybe. She's stuck to the edge, that's for sure. Whoa. This mix was back when I used leca and everything in it. It's so old. This is Fox Farm. And I have bark, I have perlite in here. I think some of the bottom roots are a bit rotted because This had a lid. I took the lid off from under it already, and the roots that were escaping all kind of rotted on the bottom from drying out because I wasn't watering this plant as well. So some of these might be kind of rotted on the very bottom. Look, you can actually see the wet stick that it was grown from. Look, I remember getting this plant. That's crazy. Right there is the actual chunk that this started growing from. That tiny little thing, that is crazy. My other Thai, I believe, is tissue cultured, but this one, I guess, was from somebody's collection maybe. I'm thinking since the root system probably isn't the healthiest on the bottom, I would be tempted to stick this in semi-hydro, I'm not gonna lie. And then I could just get rid of all the roots. I think just getting it under more light is gonna be the best thing for this plant. Let's see, I just want to get in here a little bit more and see what I'm working with. I'm thinking about going here and doing this top. I would have 4 leaves in pond. Decisions. I'm somebody who just goes for it. That's usually what I do. I don't really think about it. It's just something, I feel like it's not happy. I don't really want to pot this root system back up and leave it. I think I'm going to prop it, you guys. I do. Let me get my shears or my X-Acto knife because this stem is so thick. I don't want to like squeeze it with my shears. I'm nervous. Let me get you guys closer so you can actually see where I'm going to prop this at. I'm just going to go for it, you guys. Okay, here goes nothing. Okay. She has been chopped. So I would have 2 aerial roots, well, technically, yeah, I would have 3 where it would start rooting from. And I have another one like right here forming. But I need to let that callus for a bit. So I'm gonna sit this down here. Now this is what I need to figure out what I wanna do with now. Because I don't really want to keep I mean, there's nothing, it's not that bad. There's a little bit of rot down here. But I feel like it's not entirely happy. I feel like I'd rather start the root system over. But if I keep this section, that would be 3 ties, and I don't want 3 ties. There's no way. I'm wondering if I just cut the leaves and then I could do some wet stick node propagations. I mean, because ties are so inexpensive now because they're, you know, they're tissue cultured, and I would have a lot of nodes here I could try and grow out. I think that's what I might do. That way I can just get rid of the root system. Okay. Here goes the leaf. So there's an auxiliary bud. There's an auxiliary bud. There's one. There's one. There should be one for every node. Here's one right here on this brown tissue. I'm going to go above that right here. Okay, I'm going to leave this bottom chunk. I'm going to go above this one. So I'm going to go below this and above that. I haven't propagated many, actually I haven't propagated Monstera Thai in a really long time. I'm gonna leave this one as a larger piece here. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chunks to see what happens with as an experiment. So I think what I'll do, since this video isn't crazy long, I feel like if I start propping the Monstera aurea, it's gonna get to be like another hour-long video. So I think what I'll do is I'm gonna let this callus for at least an hour or so and all the little wet stick nodes, and then I'll make a little propagation bin for the wet sticks, and then we'll plant the top cut directly into semi-hydro. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm experimenting because I haven't really propagated Monstera Thai like this before, so I don't know what's gonna happen. From my understanding, like back when I got ties, they were kind of prone to root rot, so yeah, we're gonna see. I don't know if the stem would rot or or not, hopefully not. And like I said, I have my other tie outside. So if you don't practice, you're not gonna get the experience and know and learn from that. I try not to think about if something were to happen. You know, I go into it thinking like everything's gonna be fine, but yeah, if it was a more expensive plant, I would be a little bit more anxious. Like if I was propagating the mint, the jungle mint back there, I would definitely want to air layer and have some roots first, but I don't know, I'm just going for it with the tie. I'm just gonna see what happens. Okay, I am back. It's been callusing, I would say a good hour, and I went ahead and just rinsed it off just so I could get the underside of the leaves. I just hosed it off in the shower. So I feel like it's had enough time to dry, cross my fingers. And I'm hoping this aerial root, I don't know if this one's going to be okay. Well, hopefully it just creates some new roots once it gets into pon. But I'm going to plant it down like this. I know the leaves are really weird right now. I'm going to try and like tie this together, like maybe up here so that it's a little bit more compact, you know, because it's got the 4 big leaves right now. Maybe tie this one up a little bit too. But I have a planter. I washed this out as well. This is a 9x8, a self-watering pot. I'm gonna go ahead and do a big one just because I feel like it's a pretty big plant. And once it gets rooted in here, it should be able to stay in here for a little bit, as long as nothing crazy happens to it. I'm also going to use a core pole in here as well. Just kind of back here in the back somewhere, just to give it some support once it actually does start growing. All right, let me put some in here first. I'm glad I rinsed all this pon yesterday. Let's see. I'm gonna put a little bit more pon in here. Okay, I think that's a good height. I can't let this go because it's gonna lean forward and fly out of here because it's not rooted or anything yet. feel like I had to put the base kind of high up, you know, because the stem was kind of short. Let me go ahead and tie this one up so I can let this go. Okay, I wrapped that around several times there. There's also an aerial root here in the back you guys can't really see, but I'm going to try and get the pon up a little bit on this back side so it can reach for that moisture. I'm going to quickly water this in so that I have some support. So it's a little bit more heavy. All right, now that the base is planted and watered, I'm going to work on tying, I think, some of these leaves up a little bit. I wish I had some, oh, I have those S-hooks, or not S-hooks, they're the ones that I took out of all my alocasia because they were causing the leaves to get stuck. I have some of those that actually might work better. I just don't want to snap this one. I'm going to tie this one up to the pole first. Let's see. Let's see. I'm going to try and take one of these clips and see if I can support this a little bit more. I just don't think this one's gonna, without snapping it, you know? No, that's not gonna work, shoot. Okay, let me figure out how I want to tie this and go about this. I'm gonna have to play around with it for a little bit because I really want to get the leaves, I want it more compact, so I'm gonna figure out how to tie these without the string just falling down. So I might have to get creative for a minute, but I'll come back on and show you what I did. Okay, I think I have it staked for right now. I don't like how like that one's all weird looking. I thought about just chopping that one off, but I don't really want to. But then I'm like, maybe if I chop that one off, it won't be too many leaves on this plant because it doesn't really have enough of a root system. But it is a really pretty leaf though. I might leave it for now. And I'm thinking what I'll do is stuff it back in this corner temporarily because this Monstera albo is going to be moving out of my plant room. I have a spot for that. So that won't be there. And then I have the Fridex, or the Mycolizion and Fridex. I think what I'll do is maybe put the Thai, I might kind of shove it back in the corner there, and then maybe I'll move the Fridex like over here or something until I can get some of these big plants rearranged. Hopefully it roots up and it does fine. Time will tell, I guess. But what I ended up doing is I found one S-hook there in my closet. I have a few of them from that rod that's above my window. And then I did that with the two here, but the stem was kind of turned a little bit, so I had to be careful to not snap it. And then the base is really tightly secured to the pole down here. And then I tied the main stem again here. And then this leaf here is tied to this leaf to bring it up a little bit. And then I supported this one to the pole up here as well. And then I tied these two together to bring those a little bit closer. Because this, if it does stabilize and grow, this is where the new leaf will emerge. And I didn't want to block that by tying like too many strings up this way. And that's the other look at it from this side. So I think that'll be okay. It's pretty sturdy in here. It's not going to come flying out because the stump, you know, was pretty short, so it's not planted very deep in here. All right, finishing up here. So I have a thing of sphagnum moss in a propagation bin. I would normally put this in a bigger bin, but I'm running out of room to hold props right now. So I'm gonna put these node wet sticks into here, just on top of some damp moss, and we'll see what happens. These I feel like have dried pretty good. Like I feel like the ends are dry enough to go ahead and stick them in there. This is probably the biggest one here. So we're just gonna go, yeah, just right on top there. Oh, this one has a long aerial root too. I'm gonna kind of stick him down there too. Like that. That one. That one. I'm just stuffing these all in here. That one, and then one more here. I'm just gonna do this one right here. Just like that. And I'm gonna keep this on and this closed. What I might do is actually just stick this in my IKEA Mills bow right now until I can make room on that shelf. I'm gonna be spending the next couple days in there. So I'll be kind of going through the props and everything. So yeah, I'll leave these in my cabinet. That way they can get some good conditions, good light, and then I'll move them out probably to that shelf. I'm very curious if these will sprout, if they make it, or if they rot. Like I said, I haven't really propped Monstera Thai like this through wetstick propagation. So I'm very eager to see what's gonna happen with these. So I'll update in some time here. If they sprout and if they end up growing, then I'll list them. So yeah, hopefully the top section does okay. I'll probably update in some time here. I'll give, you know, it a few weeks to kind of situate and settle in. I really gotta stop sitting on the floor when I do these repottings in here. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Hopefully this video wasn't too long. I think 30 minutes, hopefully, good time frame. And then whenever I go to do the aria, I'll just film that separately. This needy little child came in. Hi, needy little child. Hi. I gotta cut your nails. Yeah, I gotta cut your nails. Making air biscuits. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll keep you updated on how they do. Hopefully the nodes do okay. I'm very curious, and hopefully, you know, the top cutting that I planted ends up rooting and does fine. The elbow that I did, the big one, when I propped it, I just stuck a bunch of aerial roots down in there and it rooted up just fine. So I feel like it'll do okay. So I feel like it's pretty good conditions in here for it to root up and do well. So if you have any questions, let me know down below, and I will talk to you guys a bit later.